What's up guys, Tony Bonvecchio with the Strength House. Today I'm going to talk about box squats and how we can use the box squat to help build your regular squat and enforce good technique. So lots of different ways to box squat. This is just the way that we teach it and the way that we think it carries over the best to all kinds of different squats. So first things first is to use a box height that's right for you. So if you're a power lifter, you want to use a box that's below parallel because you have to squat below parallel. But if you're not a power lifter, if you're an athlete or somebody just looking to get strong, use a box height that allows you to use good technique. So if I'm a power lifter and I'm using a box that puts me way above parallel, this is not going to do me much good. But if this is the best I can do and I don't power lift, the best I can do meaning that it's the best height that I can get to with good technique, then go ahead and use it. It enforces consistent depth so you don't start to squat higher and higher as the weights get heavier. Next, always make sure that your box is diagonal so you can straddle it. A lot of times what we'll see is if people are using a box that's right up against their legs like this, they can't push their knees out, they end up arching their back and sitting back too much. So if you use a box, put it diagonally, that way you can straddle the box and just drive those knees out to keep a much better torso and hip position. So now about the nuts and bolts of the box squat. So when I'm box squatting, I want to use the box to help kind of mimic the exact technique I would use during a regular squat and encourage a posterior weight shift, meaning sitting my weight backwards without losing my core position and getting into an unrealistic position. I'll show you what I mean by that. So a big mistake we see a lot of people do with the box squat when they're trying to get it to carry over to their regular squat is sitting back excessively. So they'll start to arch at the lower back and push their hip way back and then start to rock backwards. If you look at the alignment of the bar is actually behind my feet here. A really important rule of squatting is that you want the bar over your midfoot. And if I try to stand up here from where I am, I can't even stand up with the empty bar. In order to stand up, I have to rock forward and then stand up. Now a big issue with that is that it's unrealistic compared to your regular squat. You never do that. But also with heavier weights, when you start to rock forward, it's going to start to round your back and then kind of turn everything into a good morning. So make sure you don't sit back excessively. Let your hips move back just enough by pushing the knees out. When I do that, my hips will move backwards a little bit, and now the bar is right over my midfoot, so I can stand straight up. If that bar stays over my midfoot, I can stand up. If I rock behind too much, I can't stand up without falling forward. So make sure that you're not sitting back excessively. Only let your hips travel backwards as much as they naturally would just by pushing your knees out. The next mistake that I see a lot of people make is pushing the knees forward too much and then cutting their depth and kind of tapping off the box. And what that looks like here is instead of pushing their knees out and letting their hips sit back, they'll just drive their knees forward and they'll cut their depth significantly. They'll only have a small portion of their hamstrings on the box. And you can see a big difference here, how deep I am here. I'm probably a little bit above parallel. Whereas if I push the knees out a little bit and get more of my hamstrings on the box, now I have a deeper squat. It's going to carry over better to my regular squat. So rather than driving the knees forward and tapping off the box, again, push the knees out, pause on the box briefly, and then stand back up. So as you can see, the box squat's a useful tool to build your regular squat as long as you use it appropriately. So make sure the box height is right for you, that your hips are moving back just enough, and that you're not tapping off the box as you squat.